We're back, people, and today we're breaking down film on Dante Trader Jr., Miami Dolphins safety. They added in the 5th round, and honestly, this is one of my favorite sleeper picks that they made after getting to check out his film. He's my type of player. The safety that, a little undersized and, didn't run the fastest 40 time. This ends up happening where they fall, but he's super smart, super tough. Says he models his game after Buda Baker, which I can kind of see. He loves to get downhill, involved versus the run game. Definitely that type of mentality. Definitely plays like he's a dog out there. And the athleticism stuff, he didn't test well with explosive numbers or 40, which I think shows up on film. But where he did test, at least above average was his 10-yard split and the agility drills, which I think shows, some short area quickness. I think definitely an underneath zone defender, down in the box he can do. I think, as a split field safety playing in those quarter looks, he feels comfortable. He actually has some good reps in man-to-man. Like, I don't think he has the athleticism to necessarily play a bunch of man-to-man at the next level, but he's very physical, very good understanding of route concepts. He's like a big like film junkie, which is always important at the safety position. So I'm a big fan of what Trader Jr. brings. I love his play style. Just makes a lot of smart, disciplined plays out there, and is just always in the right spot. I think he just, like, when you get him really out in space, especially like in single high, he's not gonna have a ton of range. Or like when he gets out in space and like on double moves and like the QB has a ton of time in the pocket and they can really develop that, like he will struggle out in space, as you can see, but like he will fly downhill, he will get involved. Like here he gets stuck out in space one-on-one, QB gets a ton of time, he's going to get turned around and he doesn't quite have, the ability to get back into position. But here in single high, as I'm saying, like if he's playing in between the numbers, like he'll probably make some plays. Here is Trader Jr. Single high, just reading, looks comfortable in his pedal, probably playing a little bit too high cut, but just reading the QB's eye. Ball gets overthrown, be in the right spot at the right time. Some ball skills. If the ball is, usually thrown his way, he has some nice ball skills. He's also, I didn't mention, like a really good lacrosse player. Like he's like a really, really good lacrosse player, which honestly, bringing in some multi-sport athletes, never going to mind that. And here from depth, look at him from depth, rotate down. They, rock and roll the safeties, and look at him just get down and make this tackle. So right here, they're rocking and rolling with the motion. So he's coming downhill, recognizes the run, and look at him just close that space very, very quickly. I love safeties. This is why I wasn't a huge fan of Nick Emenwari, who, even though he was like huge and athletic, he didn't love to fire downhill and get involved very often. Like he'll make a tackle if it comes to him, but he was never someone that recognized those types of plays and got downhill. Here he is, like, playing this sort of interesting coverage. Looks like, he's a single receiver side, kind of like robbing, potentially helping, taking the interior space away. Once he realizes, this guy, number one's not working anywhere near him, the running back didn't leak out to his side, he goes back, eyes on the quarterback, because the quarterback starts escaping, so he opens up his hips. Once the QB resets his feet to throw it over the middle, he's able to close on this, very fluid. Like you can see the fluidity to flip his hips there, good. And then knock the ball out. Just knocks the ball out of the tight end's hands, makes it incomplete. This shows the ability to dislodge the ball. It's a clean hit too, which a lot of times that's hard to do, to get clean hits and dislodge it like that. So causes that incompletion, makes a play on a position in the field where he probably doesn't even, like, it's not his responsibility. It's very impressive from Trader. Here he is, I think, playing in that top down type of thing. Top down versus coverage, top down versus the run. Let him play downhill. That's where he's comfortable. He stays square, disciplined. He gets to the points where, this receiver can't cut him off and, get the cut on him. And he gets downhill. He tackles you through the legs there in the backfield. Definitely a very comfortable run defender. I think the Dolphins want those out of their safeties. They want guys that will come downhill and be involved versus the run, be involved in the run fits. That's like a big part of his game. And then I think, like, underneath zone drill, he'll be more comfortable at the next level. Leveraging multiple route concepts. Playing, top down like here. He's basically playing as a middle hook defender in cover 3. And he's, like, basically working through 3 to 2. And he's leveraging both routes here. So 3 is working behind him on an over route. And then number 2 is just sitting down right here. And they're basically making him the conflict defender. He's in a spot to take away the high route right here behind him. And then once he sees the QB commit to throw underneath, he's able to be in a good football position to close on it and make the tackle and limit that. No yak, tackle through him, finish. Just smart, good football, being able to, play both routes at the same time. That's kind of what you're asking when you put a player in that scenario. And then in man, I feel like he looks pretty comfortable. Like, I don't think he's gonna have the athleticism quite to hold up at the next level and as like a big time man guy, but he looked pretty comfortable in coverage, good instincts, anticipation, route recognition, that type of thing, especially versus tight ends, which I think, he'll have, and he plays physical versus tight ends. Maybe you don't want him size matched up versus tight ends, but he at least has enough athleticism to match tight ends for the most part. Definitely not going to be on like a receiver guy, but he does a lot of fun stuff. Top down, he is working, as I'm saying, like he's on the backside of this. One receiver, the running back is kind of the number two. Once he keys what's going on, he sees. So he's kind of seeing this. He sees a running back swing out, and he understands, like, boom, the running back swings out. I'm going to look to number one. Once he sees number one break on the slant, like this shows a good understanding of route concepts. He is going to stick his foot in the ground. You can see he is waiting on this, playing more of that flat-footed read, and he closes and helps, make on a play on that ball, almost gets the interception. He's very, very comfortable in these situations. I really do like watching Trader Jr. play. These are the types of guys I would be taking in the 5th round, maybe less developmental guys that have a little higher floor. I think he also will fit as a special teams player for sure. Like he has that sort of toughness. He's also a good communicator. He does a lot of communication, pre-snap, post-snap. It shows up on the film. Here's where, he's playing in a split field safety look, leveraging multiple route concepts. So down the field, playing as that deep half defender, throwing some communication out there, able to identify what's going on here. He's kind of splitting 1 and 3. 3 then works out on a corner. They basically, run scissors here down the field, post the corner, knows that he can pass off that corner route to hit this DB, and he's able to open his hips and get in the spot to play the post. And he's able to close, show ball skills, knock that ball down. Very comfortable, disciplined player down the field that as long as he doesn't have to, worry about too much space, get too isolated on a guy, he's going to make some solid plays. He's also a guy that's going to get downhill and be involved versus the run, make some tackles. He's very willing in those areas. He's also just a guy that gets in the right position, like play action, and they're running, they got a shallow crosser and a deep crosser. They got a lot of mesh action going on, and he's just disciplined, finds the guy working over into his zone, takes it away. He goes a little off screen down here, but they do try to throw it back to his guy, and he doesn't allow the separation. Just doing smart stuff. Here's another example where they try to work like the scissors concept down the field, and him and that guy just pass it off very smoothly. Like he sees number 2 break to the outside. He knows he's in a quarters position. I think he's very comfortable in quarters. Him and 22 can, make that call to pass that off. He's in the position to take away the post. Never has a chance for this to be completed. So then the quarterback tries to throw this down the field, which, it is a weird concept because it is like a corner, but he kind of works it into almost a wheel route that kind of breaks early. But the QB gets thrown off pace there because I think the tight end moves off his spot, and then it ends up getting picked off by the corner because they did a very good job communicating. And then, QB pulls on the zone read. He's responsible for it. He'll show some short area bursts to close, get there, takes good angles. He doesn't miss many tackles. Like he is a strong tackler. Get down and, like I'm saying, be involved versus run. Doesn't finish the tackle here, but you can see like he is seeing these holes, filling, being involved versus run fit. That's where the running back would have gone if Trader didn't fly downhill. He forces him into more defensive line help, and then also just like helps get involved with that. Limits there for no gain. But this is like where I saw if he did like get beats where he got like super isolated. And this stuff, it's not like this is a common thing either on his film or just in games. Is where like they get this big shot where the QB has all the time in the world. Like most safeties in this position are going to lose because of how much space the receiver has to work with. Like he just doesn't have the speed to recover, so he opens his hips too early. And since I don't think, that's where like it ends up being incompleted because the QB misses him. I think that's actually J.J. McCarthy, but he's not just doesn't have that ultimate recovery speed. So things do have to be like very clean for him, which for the most part they are because he is a very smart, disciplined, competitive player. Here versus Ohio State a couple of years ago, even slips in transition here and is still able to close and get in position, takes good angles and get the interception. I'm a fan. I am a fan of Dante Trader. Honestly, one of my favorite day 3 picks. I would say after Jordan Phillips, it was probably my favorite pick on day 3. So both Maryland guys, actually. I think Phillips is better, but I think Trader is like my favorite sleeper right now, and he definitely plays like my type of guy. I think it'll be him versus McMorris will be very interesting because I do think they have like that sort of similarities where like they're not the most explosive athletes, but they're more short area athletes, pretty smart players, physical as well. So that will be I think a fun battle in camp to see who kind of comes out on top in that nature. But yeah, love his play style. Can't wait to see him in the preseason. So if you guys did it, like, comment, subscribe,